Have you ever felt like you are the only one trying to make your home feel calm? Like the entire atmosphere depends solely on you, your energy, your effort, your ability to just hold it all together? If you are carrying that quiet but very heavy weight, I want to tell you the one shift that finally made my home feel peaceful. And no, it's not a chore chart or some new fancy routine. Stick with me because I'm going to share why my home finally feels peaceful and help you do the same. So several years ago, I started noticing this pattern in myself. Every Saturday afternoon, just that one day a week, my family would settle in for our weekly movie. Homemade popcorn, blankets, maybe some sugary treats, and I would get the movie started and very quietly slip away. I would fold laundry or clear the counters, maybe finish the dishes, reset the living room, just a few things so that the house would feel calm going into the rest of the evening when the movie ended. I told myself it was noble. I was being selfless. I'll enjoy it more once the house is in better shape. But I never actually joined them, typically. And after a few weeks, maybe even months of doing that, I started to feel something that I didn't expect. I felt left out. I felt very disconnected, maybe even a little bitter. And even though I looked productive, I felt resentful. Not because anyone forced me to miss out, but because I believed that I had to. I thought, if I don't do it now, no one else will. I have to do it if I want things to stay on track. I was trying to create peace by abandoning connection. And that was when I realized I wasn't just tired from doing too much. I was tired from believing that it was all up to me. And I know I'm not the only one. Maybe for you, it's not skipping the movie afternoon, but it's maybe always cleaning the kitchen before bed, even though everyone else is done for the night. Or maybe you're the one constantly lowering the volume, shushing kids, calming the chaos, diffusing arguments. Maybe you make dinner with love, keeping everyone's preferences in mind, and just feel crushed when someone complains. Or you're prepping birthday parties and holidays and grocery lists, matching socks, while silently wondering the whole time, why am I the only one who cares about the atmosphere in this house? And here's the part that we don't always see very clearly. Sometimes we're doing things that no one asked us to do, and then resenting them for it, for not appreciating it or for not helping. So let me say that again, because that's really the crux of the issue. We do extra believing it's necessary, and then we're mad when no one thanks us for work they didn't know that we had assigned ourselves. Have you ever folded all the towels just the right way and then felt frustrated when someone else messes up the stack? Or maybe you lit a candle in a nice clean kitchen to set the mood and then you just snapped when kids came in loud and just ruining everything. Or maybe you skipped resting to wipe down the counters and then you were so upset that nobody noticed how clean everything was. It's almost like we've created an invisible checklist and no one else knows that they are failing at that checklist. But here's the truth. Resentment often shows up not because other people have failed us, but because we have abandoned ourselves in the name of keeping things peaceful. And over time, that quiet bitterness builds until the very home that we are trying so hard to make peaceful feels very heavy and very lonely. I was missing out on those movie afternoons, not because anyone was complaining about the house, but because I was convinced that it's what a good mom does. We miss out on the fun. We miss out on the bonding and the connection because someone has to keep this place running. And if I'm being honest, I was really truly convinced that if I didn't do it, it would never get done. And most of us don't realize how heavy that thought is. How many of us have thought that? If I don't do it, no one else will. That sentence seems pretty harmless. It definitely feels true to many of us. And honestly, it feels a little responsible and noble. But let's look at what it actually creates. It keeps you stuck in hyper mode. It makes you overfunction. It makes you work harder than what's good for you. And worst of all, it isolates you from the very people that you're trying to take care of. You are not just wiping counters, you are shouldering the emotional climate of your home. And that's where the resentment really starts to simmer, when you are sacrificing connection for that control, when you're performing peace instead of letting yourself experience it. So here's the shift that I made, and it's not glamorous or perfect, but it's very real and practical. I stopped trying to carry the calm, and I started simply trying to host it. So let me explain. Peace really isn't something that you create through effort. It's something you cultivate through presence. The moment I realized I didn't have to earn peace, that I could just receive it and enjoy it, my whole home started to feel lighter. I started sitting down during the movie, even if the house was imperfect. I started asking for help, even if the towels weren't going to be folded my way. I started allowing a little bit more noise, a little bit more mess and chaos, because connection was the goal, and my peace was the goal. And instead of thinking, if I don't do it, no one will, I started asking, is this actually mine to carry? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And this shift isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. When I finally let go of the belief that I had to create peace through control, I started to feel something that I really hadn't felt in a very long time. Relief, freedom, and actual peace. Not because my house was quieter or cleaner, but because my soul was at peace. There's this really beautiful verse in the Book of Mormon that says, "The Lord our God did speak peace to our souls." I realize now that I was chasing peace from all the wrong sources, from productivity, from perfection, from control. But real peace, the kind that lasts and is sustainable, doesn't come from my effort. It comes from the Lord. And the best part is that peace is actually sustainable when you are allowing it that way. It's very life-giving instead of draining. Sometimes I was so busy trying to hold everything together, I could not hear God speaking peace to me. From a coaching perspective, this was huge. I started noticing the thoughts that were stealing my peace. They were taking the peace right away without realizing it. I'm the only one who cares. They don't appreciate me. If I don't do it, no one will. All of those thoughts sound responsible, but they create bitterness and burnout and disconnection. And when I started replacing them with the truth that peace is something I can receive. The Lord speaks peace to my soul, not just through my environment. I don't have to hustle for peace. I can host it. That is when everything began to shift. Not perfectly or instantly, but with so much more grace and way more peace. It's not about silence or spotless rooms. We have to redefine what peace actually means and looks like in our day-to-day lives. We have children. They are going to argue. They are going to whine. That baby is going to keep crying. And those things don't have to disrupt our peace. It's really not about having kids that are never arguing or a to-do list that's always done. Peace is knowing that you are not alone. It's creating an atmosphere of emotional safety for you and everyone else, as opposed to focusing on visual perfection. It really is sitting on the couch with some popcorn in your lap, maybe some socks on the floor, maybe some dishes waiting in the sink, and just knowing this is my ministry. This is my stewardship. This is presence. This is what connection looks like. Your home does not need a superhero. It needs a mom who shows up as her best and knows her limits. So if you've been carrying the calm all on your own, let this be your invitation to start setting it down. You don't have to do it all to be a good mom. You just have to show up, connected, present, and willing to trust that God will fill in the gaps. And that the mess will wait for you. That was a huge empowerment for me. I don't know what I thought might happen. I think I thought maybe the house would spontaneously combust if I left a mess alone. it will just be waiting for you. So even if no one else gets to that mess, you will, and you can trust that you will. Allow yourself to enjoy this present moment and know that you can get to that at a future point when it's at a better time. You don't have to miss out in order for the mess to get clean, because the mess doesn't have to get clean right now. I'm not saying the mess doesn't need to get clean. I'm not saying just leave the laundry, just never do the dishes. There's a time and a place for all of it. You want to be approaching those decisions from a place of peace. So if this message hit home for you, I would love to give you something to help you go even deeper. Download my free ebook. It's in the description. It's called You Were Made for This, and it's a Christ-centered guide for stay-at-home moms who want to live with more peace and confidence and purpose. You really are not failing. You're just carrying too much. And if you still feel stuck on that hamster wheel, check out this next video that will teach you how to get out of burnout once and for all. You guys are doing amazing, and I'll see you soon.